All right. Morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays. Coming to you live as the markets are already opened. Today is Thursday. The week is almost over. The markets are dropping due to bad earnings. Mostly leading the charge is, of course, Facebook. Also, PayPal was down big. We're going to take a look at a few of the stocks. Feel free to throw suggestions in a live chat. Maybe my moderators are around. I'm going to pull up our Telegram chat, send over. I'll try to get to some Q&A. And we are going to screen share. Hey, guys, keep forgetting to promote. I was on with Max Kaiser when I was in El Salvador a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago, actually. This aired on Jan 27th. It was recorded about 3 to 4 days earlier. I don't have the link in the video description, but if you go to RT Shows on YouTube, just pull up the Kaiser report. They'll have a playlist. It's right there. And this was episode 1807, Supply Chain Land Army. That was the episode I was on. So 2 episodes ago, and now you can pull it up on YouTube, not just on RT's website. Okay, now let's go to the charts. We have the monthly chart. The monthly chart is currently holding a very critical moving average. Notice the last time we were at this moving average, we did spike down that month, and this was the COVID disaster. And then we rebounded all the way up and did not really spend that much time in the candle below that moving average, but we did pierce the next moving average. This time around, it would be a lot more scary because that long-term moving average is sitting all the way down at $20,000, and we're right now at $36,000. So that is about a 45% correction. I do not think this is likely, but is it possible? Of course, anything is possible. Us going down to say 5,000 is I don't want to say impossible, but significantly less likely. So everything you do in trading is basically based on percentage. People are asking about the MACD and the RSI. The MACD and the monthly is looking absolutely terrible. And so is the RSI. These are not good metrics on the monthly scale. Weekly chart is in a downtrend, and it will remain so for quite a while. We would need to really break out about 41,000 to break this downtrend. We're not only in a downtrend, we're in the bottom half of the channel of the downtrend, and that is, of course, a bad sign. There's almost nothing good I can say about the weekly chart, so let's not even look at it. It just looks horrible. This is our 4-day chart. This is the allocation chart. The entry into the bullish trade for only 20% of our portfolio really technically should have taken place at around 33,000 because this was a telegraphed trade that I talked about for days before it happened. I put this up based on when I aired the video, not based on a realistic buying opportunity, which should have been significantly lower. If not at 33,000, then at least at 34,000, not 35. But I just, used 35 as, the least statistical, not in my favor, basically, not to play favoritism as to when a trade should have been entered. This position is in danger of going into the red, and we will not let this position go into the red. If a 4-day candle is giving the impression that it will close lower than the entry, this chart will once again go into 100% cash. I personally don't care how many trades I take on, as long as I'm not losing money. People seem to confuse their desire for being rich to their high probability of losing their life savings. The greater your desire for gambling, the faster you're going to go broke. This is why very, very few people live in a casino making a living. Okay, the majority of the people go to the casino with money they know they're going to lose, and they generally lose it. That is 99% of the human population. Trading is not that different. So our number one priority, our number two priority, and our number three priority is not to lose money. That is our first, second, and third priority is not to lose money. Our fourth priority is let's try to make some money. Okay. So in an attempt to make some money, we may be going all cash and dropping this position, but not yet. Not yet. Before we go to the daily chart, unconfiscatable, I continue to interview sponsors. There will be another interview later today. The interview will be with Voltage. If you have no idea what Voltage is or what Voltage does, make sure you are here in about 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours from now, I will interview Voltage so you guys have a better idea on what this company does. And then you can come and talk to them at Unconfiscatable. The conference is exactly 1 month away. The poker tournament is exactly 1 month away on March 3rd. Now, the tournament is filling up. It's a 100-player maximum. So make sure you get your seat. Just click on this link for the registration. Okay, you also get to watch a pretty cool, neat video. I'm about to start sending out Scammy Award nominations, which will be a really fun event at the after party. Our carnivory dinner has already been sold out. You can still get tickets to the conference though, and we still have some VIP tickets left, which will get you into that dinner. If you're able to pay that price for a VIP ticket, is pretty much the only way to get into the carnivory dinner at this point. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Check out our list of speakers. And want to give a shout out to our media sponsors. There they are, from Bitcoin Magazine to Oshi to a few others. Okay. You can follow us on YouTube. This is where we're going to put up all the videos, which may or may not be live streamed. Can't promise. Also, if you guys follow me personally on Instagram, a fake me will DM you a day later asking you to give them money. That would not be me. So please, please, please be careful. And you can also follow the Unconfiscatable Telegram channel, Instagram channel as well. Oh, I'm going to Austin, Texas on Monday for a mining conference. I'll be moderating a panel, so you can catch me in Austin, Texas. After that, I may stay out on the West Coast. I can't promise, but I may swing by Arizona or Phoenix or the communist state of California to LA for at most a few hours because I don't really want to spend any money or any time in that area, but it's possible. So if I am going to any of those areas, I will tweet it out. So keep an eye on that. Daily chart. This is really, really interesting. So I did not get a chance to make a video yesterday. I just got really caught up and got busy. So what happened? Well, I did warn people that today was going to be an MRI sell day. Did I expect the MRI sell to be this big of a sell day? The answer is I did not. I did not expect it to wipe out 5 days or 6 days of upswing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pretty much 6, 7. 7 days of upswings. I did not expect 1 day to wipe all of it out. What does this mean? Well, this still means that I was looking for a 1 to 4 candle correction or consolidation. I was leaning to consolidation, but the indicator is the indicator. The indicator tells you get out, take your profit. Now, if I did enter the 20% bullish position based on this daily candle, but I did it on a 4-day chart. And according to the 4-day chart, it is not yet time to panic. But if you are a trader of the daily chart, this was a telegraphed indication that you need to take some profit off of this trade. I am not yet taking the profit off that 20 allocation because it's taking place on a larger time scale. But if your time scale is daily or smaller, yes, this was the time to get out and take your profit, and the MRI indicator clearly told you to do that. Now, why did I think that it was not going to be this bad on the daily MRI in Bitcoin? Well, that has to do with the S&P 500. That's because on the S&P 500, we still have an MRI bullish trend. But you can see that perhaps Bitcoin is starting to lead the S&P 500 a little bit. And it's not like the S&P has more influence on the world than the stock market. It's just that Bitcoin is more nimble and speculators get in and out of Bitcoin faster. So if the same speculators are trading the stock market, they can react faster in Bitcoin. So it's not that Bitcoin is leading the S&P 500, but the same mentality that it's causing people to buy Bitcoin and sell Bitcoin, or not, or stopping or taking a pause on buying Bitcoin, is the same mentality that is causing people to speculate in the stock market. And with Bitcoin being a 24/7 market that is easy to get in and out of, Bitcoin could be that little canary that speculators are either piling in to private risky assets or pulling out of private risky assets. So I thought this was pretty interesting that Bitcoin kind of topped a little bit earlier, and the stock market is down, but it's not down crazy much considering how bad some of the NASDAQ stocks announced their earnings. We'll get to that in a second. So back to the daily chart. We are still in a 1 to 4 candle correction. And as long as the daily chart is not threatening to close below this critical line, which is at $35,000, I will assume that this 1 to 4 candle correction is either over or will end tomorrow. And then we're going to start rallying back up. Short-term chart. Could a short-term 1-hour chart help you exit this market near the top? And unfortunately, it did not. If anything, the short-term 1-hour chart would have had you be bullish at the top of this market. So the 1-hour chart would have only gotten you into some extra trouble and not helped you exit near the top at 39,000. What about the 4-hour chart? Waiting on the MRI. The 4-hour chart also did not help you very much. I see a question from Fred Rich. Tone, is it possible that we are in a phase 7 of some hyperwave? That is so general of a question. It's kind of like, Tone, is it possible that, I don't know, there is an alien spaceship on its way to the planet? I mean, yeah, it's possible. Like, it could also be a million years away and it's still flying. Like, anything's possible, right? You also don't specify the asset, and you don't really specify a time frame, but hyperwaves in a weekly time frame. Is it possible that Bitcoin is in a phase 7 of hyperwave? The answer is no, it's not. It's actually not possible. Is it possible that other important things are? Yes, it's possible, because your question is not specific enough. Guys, ask specific questions. I don't know what time frame you're talking about. I don't know what asset you're talking about. General questions are not very useful. DXY. Yeah, well, I'll try to get to the DXY. What is this? Where's my data? What's going on? Is Grayscale not showing any data anymore? Reload. What happened? So, is this me? Is this me, or did Barry Silbert cut off the data feed to TradingView? I'll wait for the live stream to reply, and I'm gonna move on. Hey guys, if you want to support my work, you can check out products and services on-demand video. And this is where I sell my trading education tutorials. You can also learn it for free at Learn Trading. And those that are interested in the MRI indicator, you can check it out under products and services, MRI indicator. That's a good question, Tristan. I'll get to that in a minute. Let's just go through a chart. Financial Summit, I'll talk more about this after Unconfiscatable ends, but go to the financialsummit.com and you'll check out what we're planning in the Dominican Republic. I remain bullish on oil. Not much else to say about that. I remain not caring about gold. Nothing much else to say about that. The S&P 500, we can take a look at a 10-minute chart. Oh, that's Bitcoin's 10-minute chart. Didn't really care for that. We can see there's a 10-minute reverse, 10 a.m. reversal. Yep, there's clearly a 10 a.m. reversal again. As I've told you guys many times, the one candle that I never trade is the 930 candle. You can see how this candle started crashing the market, then rallied, and that led to nothing as the low was pretty much made at 10 a.m. The 10 a.m. reversal is here. The 10 a.m. reversal is strong. And I don't know what it will take to end the day green, but it's certainly possible that today is going to be green and Bitcoin is going to rebound back up. So I am still overall bullish on the stock market. I know some stocks took a big hit today. Tilray is still doing pretty good off of the weekly and monthly and daily MRI buys, perfect lows. Once it breaks the next moving average, I can certainly see it go straight to the next moving average. Someone asked about DXY. Here's the daily DXY. Is there an MRI top right there? And there is. Beautiful example of how the MRI is a useful indicator. It also happened on a reversal candle after a decent run up. This is the kind of trade I would make on pretty much any asset because of the MRI. Beautiful. Wish we saw it in real time, but this is what the notification service is for. Okay. Oh, that's not it. This is what the notification service is for, right? You can set up alerts on all these assets and you will be notified if these assets are interesting to you. I'll be talking more about this. Once Unconfiscatable ends, I'm going to try to focus a little more on the financial side of things, not the Bitcoin side of things. Let's glance at a few stocks and I'll answer a few questions. Then we're going to call it a day. I want to look at the stock market. Facebook. Where's Facebook? Facebook took a huge nosedive today. This is why if you're going to play earnings, you better play earnings without knowing which direction it's going to go. Because those that thought that Facebook would make a lot of money, and don't forget, Facebook is censoring, I'm now of the position that if you are being censored by social media like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you are telling the truth. You can lie through your teeth. You can lie about anything. You can be the most like horrible person on the face of the earth, and they will not ban you. But the moment you start telling the truth, you will get censored and banned from social media. And you know what? I hope Facebook goes to zero. I hope anyone that's invested in Facebook loses all of their money. And the same goes for Twitter. I have no respect for these companies. I really hope Twitter is losing all that money. And anyone that invested in Twitter is losing all that money. So we know that ARK invested a lot of this stuff. So I'm not upset that they're losing money because they're investing in social media that is banning free speech and that is banning the truth. And that's a problem. And I hope the price of their stock is reflected with that. Amazon, I believe, is reporting earnings today, or they already reported earnings. They already reported earnings. So, and Amazon is down a little bit. Okay. I mean, Amazon hasn't really been censoring to the same extent. Google has been censoring. Unfortunately, their stock is up. Okay, so let's get a couple of your questions. And then we're going to call it a day. Whoa, a lot of questions coming in. All right, let's see them. I took a look at DXY. Thank you for pointing that out. How necessary is a high value Bitcoin capitulation for definite reversal to occur? Not necessary. Not necessary at all. We have had a very frustrating year. If you go to the big picture, the price of Bitcoin is exactly where it was 1 year ago. So this has been a year of no movement whatsoever, and it spent most of that time higher. So anyone that's bought Bitcoin in the last year is probably in a losing position. So no, we don't need a capitulation. People are getting frustrated, and they're going to miss out on the big bull run. Oh, PayPal. Yes, let's have a laugh about PayPal. I'm all for that. I use PayPal. They charge me up to 5%. Great. Love it. Use Bitcoin, guys. Get away from these tyrannical companies that are confiscating your wealth, that are censoring your wealth, that are charging you unreasonable fees of 5%. You know, you can complain all you want about a Bitcoin high fee of $10 per transaction if it happens again. We haven't had those fees in forever. We could go to Woobull charts. He's got a good fee on here. Bitcoin Segwit adoption, a Bitcoin network throughput. That's a good chart. Not the one I was looking for. Let's see what else he's got. Oh. Bitcoin congestion, it was that one. There we go. Okay. You can see how the fee is non-existent. That's the blue line. The blue line is the fee. Remember, like 4 years ago, people were screaming about how expensive Bitcoin transactions are? Well, now they're zero, right? The fee's not there. Like Segwit adoption, Lightning adoption. You can look at the Segwit adoption chart. Look at that. Segwit has finally been adopted at 80%. And there was a little bit of a fee spike right here. Is that a fee spike? Average payment fee. Yeah, not sure why, but something happened over here. Oh, maybe I'm not sure what, but it was really crazy back in the day, right? So these bad actors, starting with Roger Ver, they delayed the adoption of Segwit by a year. Segwit enters the system. Within a month, 15% of Bitcoiners start using Segwit, and the fee spikes because they're spamming the mempool. And then they're like saying, well, where's your Segwit adoption? Where's your Segwit adoption? You know, it's like El Salvador announces Bitcoin as legal tender, and the next day, all these people are like, where's your Bitcoin adoption? I know they announced it yesterday, so every single person needs to immediately be using it in only Bitcoin. Like, guys, give it time. Give it at least a week. maybe 2 days. How about 2 days, right? How about you give it 2 days? How about you give people 2 days to learn something new? You know, it's like someone invents email, and like a week later, people are like, why isn't everyone using email? You know, well, maybe it takes a little more than a week to adopt it, right? So, and of course, the worst companies like Bitcoin.com only adopted it right here. And now we're at 80% Segwit adoption. And there's still a lot of room between 80% and 100%. So this fee could actually stay low for a significantly long period of time. I don't even know how I got on that tangent. PayPal. We all need to stop using PayPal, including myself. Including myself. Okay, next set of questions. Hey, Tone, have you talked with Socrates? Yes, but not lately. I was supposed to talk to him a couple of weeks ago as well. I spoke to him a few months ago. I'm going to reach out to him. I'll try to jump on a call. At what price would you consider Bitcoin a failed experiment? That's a really good question. So if you remember my answer to this question, in the last bear market here, I would have considered Bitcoin a failed experiment under $750. You can disagree. It's okay to disagree with me. I would have considered Bitcoin failed if it fell below 750. Now, remember, I would have bought as much as I could at under 2,000. But under 750, I would have considered Bitcoin to be a failure because I don't think mining would actually survive. Like it's just like, who would support the network at that price? I think there'd be major panic, like Bitcoin's in trouble. Like Bitcoin could, I mean, it could resurrect. I mean, Doge kind of resurrected after it died, but I would probably like consider Bitcoin a failed experiment below 750. That number has certainly risen. So now I would consider Bitcoin a failed experiment if the price of Bitcoin goes under $3,000. I know these numbers are kind of crazy low, but they're supposed to be crazy low, right? If Bitcoin goes to under $3,000 at this point, I would consider it a failed experiment. And after next halving, that number would probably be somewhere in the $5,000 to $6,000 range. What's your thoughts on natural gas, Tone? I don't know. Let's go look at the chart. My thoughts always depend on the chart. Commodities. Natural gas. Nope, that's copper. Shit. Which one is natural gas? Shit. I should know this. There it is, NG. Put in HG, it's NG. Well, MRI top on a daily. Warning today. I'm very bullish on natural gas prices. I'm very bullish on natural gas prices. For political reasons, for economic reasons, for stupidity of Germany shutting down their nuclear power plants, Putin putting the squeeze on Europe, charging them more money for the gas because he can, and he wants NATO out of Ukraine and out of other countries. I'm very bullish on natural gas. Mining will continue even with no reward. That is true if the price of Bitcoin keeps rising, not if the price of Bitcoin keeps falling. If the price of Bitcoin keeps falling, then no, mining will not continue. Like people will, mine at zero reward, protecting their net worth. But if there's no net worth to protect, no one's going to pay that electricity bill. It's like the gym, right? You will pay a gym membership fee and not go, but have the ability to go to the gym, right? The gym is open for you to go, and you will pay that fee whether you go or not. But if the gym is not open for you to go to, why would you pay the gym fee? You wouldn't. You would cancel that gym membership. So while people will mine Bitcoin for zero reward, they will not do it if the price of Bitcoin keeps going down. It makes absolutely no sense. I did take a look at PayPal. I don't know what more you guys want me to say about PayPal. I didn't do a full analysis on PayPal. The daily chart is just crap. So we have to zoom out. The weekly chart is just crap. So we have to zoom out. Like, it's all just bearish with no limit to how low it can go. I mean, there's a limit. There is zero. Right? This looks terrible. So yeah, this was the breakout line for making money because everyone went to an online business paying PayPal a bunch of fees. It hits a monthly MRI second consecutive top, down it goes, and it's back to this area of a breakout. So if PayPal doesn't immediately reverse to the upside, its next level is significantly lower, and I have no idea how low it's going to go. So good. Maybe if PayPal stopped being such a terrible company and freezing people's money and making it hard for them to access their money, people would use it more often. Why are investors saying rising rates is bullish if they don't? It's very bearish. Tone, have you looked at Grayscale GFOF? I don't know what that is. Does it have something to do with the? I don't know what GFOF is. Is that a new ticker for Grayscale? I need to look this up. Like I don't really know what's going on. Did they change tickers? I haven't adjusted the monthly triangle, but I should just delete it. Monthly triangle's done. There is no more triangle. It's over. It's over. Rates, and this is a controversial position, but rates, the Federal Reserve rate has never had anything to do with the stock market. And, you know, it's a great conspiracy theory that the Federal Reserve does everything. I believe the Federal Reserve interest rate does almost nothing. It does almost nothing. The Fed is always going to do what it's expected to do. It will always do it 6 months later, unless there is a big crash and they panic drop rates. That's it. That's it. There's no conspiracy. There's no conspiracy here, right? The Fed will raise rates if the stock market is rising. So if the stock market is rising, the Fed will raise the rate. The market doesn't go up because the Fed is raising the rate. It will raise the rate if it doesn't damage the stock market. If the stock market is falling, the Fed will not raise the rate. And inflation is totally irrelevant. It is irrelevant. Maybe when Volcker raised the interest rate when inflation was 18% back in the 80s, this is not 40 years ago. So we're in a different environment. So if the stock market is falling, Fed will raise the rate. If the stock market is rising, Fed will raise the rate, and it will look on a chart that stock market is rising with the Fed rate. They are completely irrelevant to each other. Well, it's the other way around. The stock market drives the Fed funds rate. That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. The Fed has one job, to keep the stock market from falling. And their best tool to do it is by yapping about the interest rate and only raising it when it doesn't damage the rise in the market. All right, guys, I am going to call it a day. Please come join us at Unconfiscatable in Las Vegas, March 3rd for the poker game, March 4th and 5th for the conference, and March 6th for some competitive fun in pinball and bowling and axe throwing. And it's going to be an awesome, awesome event. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.